Power, this is its last season.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me a little tea about the prequel?
What prequel?
That's what 50 Cent mentioned before. It was going to be a prequel.
Girl, don't be taking your information from 50 Cent's Instagram.
That's what he said. You can't just end it like this.
I think definitely he's always made sense to me talking about the prequel. And the prequel was conversed about very early in the process when we were developing the characters, between us as actors trying to figure out who these characters were. And then obviously inclusive within that would have been conversation with Courtney and Curtis. And so while we were building these characters, outside of just her writing, we were trying to figure out, remember Joseph and I obviously plays Tommy, trying to figure out where Ghost lost his virginity, where Tommy lost his, the first bodega we robbed. Did we rob it? Or was it more like we were building these guys? And 50 said from the gate that we need a prequel. And originally he wanted it to be a movie, which Sopranos is now doing. Obviously, rest in peace, Jimmy Gandolfini's not here anymore. But they always had that sort of mantra as well of let's give the audience something, a backstory.
I just thought Kanan just wanted to, 50 just keep wanting to act in it because he never wanted to die. So that's why I thought this, because he just wanted to keep being on power. Basically.
They eventually, I think he did.
Yeah.
No. It was from the gate. It was like season 1.
Oh.
He told us about the prequel, season 1.
So are we going to get one?
I think that's what he's doing. I think so. Obviously, it wouldn't be us. They're kids.
Oh yeah.
I can't play me as a.
But it will also tell the story when you set up Kanan and all of that.
So amazing. But equally, it would have to be that's a diligent casting process to find the young Ghost and the young Tasha and the young Tommy and young Angela, those 4, right? And then the 5th being, or starting with Kanan. He taught us the game, so we got to start with 50.
Right.
And then Breeze. Remember, Tommy and I put a bullet in Breeze.
Yeah. And
Tommy always insinuates that sort of it was Ghost who decided to kill him. I killed him. I did kill him. And obviously Tommy was a part of that. But Joseph and I, when we talk about it, we definitely realized that would be a cool process that we would also then have to be involved with, because we curated and created these characters. So we would have to be in the casting session and help out Curtis and Courtney with that casting. So I think it's talked about as one of the spinoffs. I think they're talking about a multitude of spinoffs, but I would love to see that. The prequel has always made sense to me. I don't know if the other ones make as much sense to me, in my opinion, which I have every right to state, because I am obviously a part of this big story called Power. So, but in terms of what Curtis has always talked about from day one, not having anything to do with him wanting to stay on as actor, the prequel made sense to me because it would be cool to watch. And you know what? In terms of Ghost, we don't really know anything about it. He's a ghost in many ways.
Yeah, we really don't.
We know the birth family, we know the family he birthed. But we don't know anything about his birth family, outside of his father being an alcoholic who had a bar for a minute, and then he wasn't there. But we never saw that. Tommy, we were able to finally see his father. Ghost was obviously incarcerated with his father. Ghost tried to protect him from that thing with his father. Tommy's mom has been in his life from day one. We know that she sort of helped raise Ghost.
Right.
But you don't really get that much time between she and I. So it's kind of interesting that Ghost has truly been a ghost in terms of he's such the main guy, but we don't really know a lot about him. Yeah, which is kind of, it's befitting of this dope ass name that Courtney gave him, Ghost. Courtney created that name, so I would love a prequel just to watch myself play that part of myself, of me portraying and bringing to life this guy Ghost. I'd love to watch the younger version of not only that performance in terms of whomever is cast to play Ghost, but also in terms of the storyline, as you said. How did it all start? Where did they get? How did he find Tasha? What happened after Angela? When did he and Tommy, did they fight? Is the scar on Ghost's face from any particular thing? I mentioned it. We just created that Tommy hit me one time in the face. But how does that fight look? How does that look? Let's go back. That would be I would love it. But it's been talked about for a very long
I'm
time.
definitely going to tune in.
I appreciate that.
Also, with Power, I feel like, do you feel like it doesn't get as much recognition when it comes to awards and nominations?
I feel like what you feel like.
I haven't even said what I feel like.
I know what you feel like. You're addicted to the show like everybody else who is.
So why do you think that?
I mean, I don't know.
It gotta be a reason why. Because I've heard, this is what I've heard, that, you know, each show have to submit, you know, for different awards, and I heard that Power doesn't submit.
You definitely gotta do the thing. You mean the dance. And it's not on us, right? That part's not on us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not our job to do that thing. Like, has Empire been nominated? Yeah, I think they've been in the thing.
I think so.
Early on. So I think they have been, right, Queenie? I think they've been nominated. So that doesn't have to do with us. That would have to definitely do with the administrative portion of the show, and that being the network. Mm-hmm. Definitely not Courtney. Definitely not, Curtis, Mark Hanton, who's our other producer. Which you might not know, but that producer, Mark Hanton in particular, he goes from Purple Rain to 300. Like, his range is crazy. And he partnered with 50, and together they were introduced to Courtney. So Mark is, a close to 70-year-old Jewish producer who's just one of the most soulful people I've ever met. I adore him. And he and 50 got together and they met with Courtney. They were all rep by CAA at the time, so that's what became of that. But yeah, we haven't done that dance in terms of the network.
It's the last season.
But you can, they're trying. 50 put me one time in front of the foreign press, which are a bunch of people that don't look like you and I, who are the better parts of 60 years old and above, and they yell back and forth, it's my question, they yell at each crazy, beautifully crazy. And they were asking really dope questions that had nothing to do with acting or the show. So it was like his moment of putting me, 50 did that. He wanted me in front of the foreign press, which is the Golden Globes, which is also TV, it also endorses victories in terms of TV, not just film. But meeting the foreign press was really interesting. They wanted to know stuff like, why did you play football longer than you play baseball? Like crazy. Really dope to get to know the person. Because after a while, I think people in the academies, they know if a person's good or not. So you kind of gotta, if you're getting that kissing ass, you kind of gotta do that. That's, and your age group needs to know that. Like, that's part of paying dues, is lining up and courting the people that would then turn around and say, hey, this year Power's nominated, and Omari or Joseph or Leela or Torry. So I've just done everything I can. I left it all on the court, all on the field. I don't know what else I could do. I definitely think if I look like Leo DiCaprio or even like my castmate in Joseph Shakur, I think I'm nominated. So it's not just that we haven't done the dance. I think it's a little bit of, but it always is.